It's almost there. I'm clicking it. We're going to see and hear, and we are live, which is awesome. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Thrive Loud and an episode of Thrive Loud Live on Facebook. I'm your host, Lou Diamond. We are here to talk to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day, and I am so pumped because right here, as you can tell, viewers and listeners, you're now going to learn that we have the Julie Ann Sullivan back for what we love calling a Thrive Loud catch-up episode, where we get to catch up with this incredible individual who is inspiring, witty. She's a certified virtual presenter, a business culture expert, and a certified laughter leader. And I only laugh when I'm with her, so I'm very excited to get my laughing skills up and down here.
That's all we're going to do right now, right? We're just going to sit and laugh.
It's the truth. Thrive Loud listeners and viewers here on Facebook and on YouTube, Thrive Loud's rock star, Julie Ann Sullivan. How are you, Julie?
I'm great. I've been looking forward to this all day.
So you're coming to us from Pittsburgh, PA, right?
That's correct, where it is a beautiful 73 degrees with sunny skies and blue skies with little clouds. It's fabulous.
I'm trying to think of the last time everyone ever said the weather in Pittsburgh is fabulous. That's what this time of year is right now. June, I guess, is the best way to do it. So Julianne, I want to catch up.
Okay. I'm older.
You're older, as am I.
And wiser.
And wiser. Are you wiser? Really?
Yes.
Okay, you are wiser. But you've been doing a lot of things of late, a lot of activities, a lot of interesting things, and I want to share that with the listeners and the viewers. So why don't we do that? Why don't we just jump right in and start telling everybody, what are you doing right now?
Well, the first thing I did was, make sure that I understood this virtual presentation, what I need to do, learn how to do green screen, which I don't have up now, but learn how to do that, actually learn how to do presentations with virtual backgrounds and just talking and learning. It's a deliberate choice, right? To get wiser. I'm wiser, but I have a friend of mine who's a medical doctor, and she is involved with doctors all over the world with bringing a repository of all the research that's being done about the pandemic for other medical professionals. So she's my go-to person. I listen to her, like on what I should do and what I shouldn't be doing. So I've connected with her, and that's really great. If I have a question, I can ask her. And now with Black Lives Matter, I was just noticing this morning, I've had a sign in my yard that says many things, but Black Lives Matter is on that sign, and it's been there for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
I was arrested, 50 years ago for protesting about Black Lives Matter. So what's going on right now is painful to me because it's been going on so long. Not as painful, obviously. I'm not trying to equate, but I'm educating myself, and I'm continuing to educate myself. Like yesterday, I was listening to an NPR show that was led by Black Americans on what movies are good to watch and what movies aren't so good to watch. So just in all facets, just learning how to have conversations. And what I have found is I am getting really keen when I'm having a conversation with somebody, either something I say or they say how that's institutionalized bias, which I may not have noticed before. So education to me is everything. We can all get better. There isn't anybody who can.
No, I totally agree. And we had Tony Chapman on here last week.
Yeah, he's been on my podcast. Actually, he'll be highlighted this week because I did a series on diversity and inclusion, and I'm going back to those people this week.
His perspective of unconscious bias is exactly the thing.
I know.
But also having the conversation. And I think that's the most important thing is just here we are. We're talking about it. We're two white people, so we're not being directly affected, but the whole country's being affected by it, and we want to affect change, and it has to start everywhere. It can't just live in isolation. I still in the back of my head, the comedian Michael Che has a really good bit on Black Lives Matter, and he just plays on that. But when everyone comes back, well, all lives should matter, and he's like, that's like saying, telling your wife, do you love me? Well, I love everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and somebody else, Jeffrey Hazlett, put it this way. It's like if I say I like the color green, it doesn't mean I don't like other colors. And I think the fact of the matter is that Black Lives Matter needs to be to the forefront.
Yes.
And singled out as most important right now to keep it pushing forward. You know, Corey Kupfer, who you know also, had this idea, instead of white people writing articles, why don't we push forward articles that are being written by Black Americans?
It's a great idea.
You know?
And bringing things to the limelight. And that's what we're about here on this program, is always finding those that are thriving. I want to ask you, I want to go back to COVID here for a second, because we're still in it. I guess, first of all, how is it in your near vicinity right now? Here we are in June at the time we're recording.
Yeah, in Allegheny County, people have behaved. Now, outside of the city, once you get about an hour, it's a whole different country. But around here, people have behaved, so we're doing well. And honestly, in my circle of friends, and then when I talk to other people, nobody's really changing their behavior that much. So we're not getting an insurgence of, you know, or a rise back up in cases. So that's a good thing. I'm happy about that. My life, we're green, but my life really hasn't changed. I was telling somebody today, you know me, I'm always looking for the lemonade. So I usually travel every month, and I've never been able to grow anything during the summer months because I'm not here to water it.
So you've become like the green thumb. You truly do have the green thumb.
Well, I mean, I haven't gone overboard, but right now I'm working on growing a grove of sunflowers.
A grove of sunflowers.
So I don't know if it'll work, because I also know the chippies. So on one part of my property is where I planted all the seeds. And then on another part of my property, I noticed a chippy hole with many of those seeds. So I'm not sure if I'll get a grove, but it looks like I have like 10 that are actually growing right now. So we'll see. I like sunflowers because they bring goldfinches.
I think you need to take some pictures. We're going to put them in social media. We're going to make that part of the podcast art for this episode.
I can show them growing.
Yeah, I want the before and after. We want to deliver that. All right, so we do a lot of things in this catch-up episode, and I also wanted to hear, I guess, because as it says on the scroll behind us, or on the post here, you obviously worked on becoming a better presenter virtually. I want to ask you the things you like about working in the virtual environment. We all know the in-person a bit. And for those who haven't met Julie Ann in person, she's not only charming, but she's always so quick-witted. So you have to be on your toes. I guess I want to know how you've translated your superpower skills into the virtual arena and what you like about it a lot.
That's interesting. I like being more upfront and personal, right? When you're on a stage, you're pretty far away. And so I like that I'm closer and that I can change my background to change a mood. Or somebody made the suggestion the other day that you have a graph behind you from green to red.
Okay.
You know, who's good at this, who's not good at this, you know, right? And how people move. So I like the challenge, honestly, of what can I do to get people motivated and engaged. And I also like the inner look at how can I feed my own energy? Because sometimes it's totally different, as you know, feeding off an audience or feeding off a bunch of people who have their cameras off. So.
well, that's actually one of the things that I've been doing in a lot of my virtual things is I literally say, all right, camera's on. I don't care what you're wearing looks like, or at least put something on. I have seen some embarrassing things, men who should be putting shirts on in certain meetings. But you
haven't had anybody take their computer in the toilet, though, have you?
Well, like that famous one that went viral. No, we haven't had any bathroom breaks or other things where they think they're on mute and they're having a personal conversation with somebody in the house. That you
really shouldn't be listening to.
Or like you do, there's either a cat or a dog behind you. I can't see because it's moving behind you. Or you have a beast.
My dog, yes.
There you go, your dog.
Joyful.
Joyful. Well, it's always good to have. I told you we're gonna have a dog cast one day.
Oh, there you go.
I'm
Joy would love that.
I'm just gonna have all the dogs on and see if there's any reaction, if they kind of get it. I don't think they will. It'll probably be the highest watch.
You'll have more views than anybody else. Absolutely. You know, if you put a dog or a cat or a baby.
So here's the thing. So we know there's certain parts that you can get in there. What are the things that you desperately miss, aside from the in-person contact thing, about specifically presenting in person, like things that you can't quite do virtually that you really miss that you can do in a room?
I think it's the networking before and after also, right? Because as a presenter, if I can be there a day before, right, and hear different people speak, you know, I'll pull their stuff into what I'm saying. And even now, if I'm at an event, I will listen to other people because I think it's good to make what they say relevant to what I'm saying, kind of pool it all together. And then the networking afterwards, you know, just getting together, nobody's speaking, they're just having their hors d'oeuvre or cocktail hour or whatever. And you're just kind of roaming around and learning more about individuals. And so if I have the opportunity now, I will learn as much as I can about who I'm speaking to. But, you know, that's not always possible.
I will say the efficiency of the forum I like the fact that you can pretty much do things in a faster amount of time. And I like that. That gets you off to the next meeting, which is always good.
Yeah. It's a new experience. I like challenges. I think challenges give us new opportunities.
I also think that there are so many things that have been validated from what's going on right now. Like there were industries that said, oh no, we can't have everybody working at home. And then a lot of people are like, hey, this actually is working.
Right.
I mean, I feel bad for the commercial real estate market because, you know, that's just
that's going to take a big hit. Yeah.
I don't even know where that goes. People are going to need like comments, but we are going to need to see one another. Like I can't wait to eventually see, hug, shake hands, and not just do the
hugs. You know me.
I know you're a big hugger. You actually, listeners need to know this. We had this event in New York a couple of years ago, and I had said hello to a bunch of people, and you were in the near vicinity, and you go, listen, I haven't received my proper hug yet from you. And I had to make sure I gave a very demanding time hug to Julie Ann.
I'm very demanding about that. So this has been really, really, really difficult for me in that sense. I'm a very tactile person and I live alone. So I always say Joy's a good hugger, but she's not a very good kisser. So.
I can hear you there. Can I talk about that? Because I recently was chatting with some other people who have, you know, who were during social isolation, were alone. But obviously now we're starting to get out more and more. What are the things that you've been doing out more and more that you never thought you would ever be doing in your life?
I can't think of what I'm doing that I would never do in my life.
I've been walking. I think I
walk 3 times a day with my dog.
So you're good that way.
I'm a good walker. And what I am doing more of is I have a very nice front porch where people can be physically distanced. Mm-hmm. I have been inviting more people over for a porch visit.
We call them decktails. So
okay. Yeah.
Deck cocktails mixed together. I think that's kind of, I'm a big
BYOB. Yeah.
Or we just spray your own glass and then we'll bring the
exactly. Yeah. So I've been doing more of that and I'm relishing in that because in my head, I could be wrong. It's going to be a long winter where we're still going to be dealing with this and I won't be able to do that. Yeah. And I won't be able to see I live in a tremendous neighborhood. It could literally take me hours to walk my dog around the neighborhood.
Oh, wow. That could be good if like you forgot a poop bag or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
you could run away.
There's just so many people and we talk to one another and yeah, it's good. We've got a good neighborhood.
So one of the things that I've been wanting to catch up with you about is what you're seeing in the business sense of the world, the problems that leaders, because one of the things I know you do better than most people is you're very good in understanding the culture and helping companies really figure out their culture. And a lot of people are displaced, their culture, physically, all this stuff. And I keep thinking about people like you who love to bring people together, which is why we on Thrive Loud. Tell me maybe what you're seeing, what you're working on and where you see certain challenges that maybe others might not have a view of.
I'm a communications freak. And it's interesting, everything, all the research I've done and work that I've done in culture is totally relevant right now, even more so.
Yeah.
And the biggest piece is communicate, and how leadership communicates with their workforce, and the need to A, do it more often, and B, do it sometimes totally unrelated to work. So there's a lot more companies out there getting everybody together to play bingo or categories
or cocktails or whatever it might be.
Somebody told me the other day they had everybody come to the meeting with a green screen with their prom picture on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that a great idea?
I like that.
All the leadership team, right?
Got some puffy tuxes.
Yeah, it was really great. And so here's the thing. I think that there needs to be some structure in what the expectations are of people who are remote now. However, I think that leadership needs to make sure that people have what they need to do that. So somebody was talking yesterday about people are saving money on leases and parking and this and this and this. Okay, then why don't you take some of that money and make sure everybody has a cable long enough from their modem to their computer instead of being on Wi-Fi, so they can be more productive and efficient in their work.
That's smart. I'll add to that. I'm pointing to our cameras here. I'm always joking about the people that are on a laptop and it's got that up angle into check out your nostril hairs.
Hello?
Like this. Or see, like, here's my chin and my teeth. Go see how we've done.
That's a terrible look, by the way.
And right now, like you and I have desktop type cameras. I'm actually standing at a standing desk looking at one, and getting this equipment is really important to make your work environment, because you're now not in a work environment, you're on a work stage. Right. And that's kind of the thought that's important, because it is important to constantly work better, but you also have to look kind of professional with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't see my tutu.
Of course not. Yes. At least from the waist up, everything below hand is totally off barriers, if you would. Okay. So what I've always wanted to do, and we're going to get to Fun Street with you because I've been dying to do this. We've added some things to Thrive Loud, but
I haven't listened to that. So this
you'll like it. It'll all be new. I'll explain how it all came about. What I do want to ask you is, I agree that, we're in this for a bit and it's starting to inch back in different areas. Where do you think we've maybe overstepped in the way that we've done things, or maybe, isolated maybe too hard or too much, or where do you think we haven't done enough of it? And, or maybe you don't, maybe you have a different opinion, because there's a lot of that wavering. And I'm specifically in the New York area where people are literally going stir crazy that things aren't open as much as they could be because New York's so problematic. So anything from your purview of how things
are you strictly talking about the pandemic that you wouldn't even know we're having anymore?
That, I think that might speak volumes in depending on where you are.
So but we live in that kind of world, right? Yeah. Can't we just Google a vaccine? Right. But I've been working with research my whole life, and research doesn't come quickly. I was listening to Fauci on a program the other day, and he said a third step of a trial was going to start. And the interviewer said, it's done. And the third step of the trial, which takes another 3 to 4 months, so people want things quickly. People need to be patient, which is hard. That's probably one of the hardest things I've learned. And be kind to one another. And really, honestly, I think, just from my opinion, I'm not into sales mode right now. I mean, I am, but I'm not, and I think people should stay away from things that aren't in their lane.
Yep.
I'm not a diversity and inclusion expert, but I am a change to opportunity expert.
Right.
And You've seen it. I've seen it. People all of a sudden, they know they're experts in a field they've never been experts in.
It's like Frogger. You remember the video game Frogger where they jump from one thing to another? I'm totally with you. Like not taking their lane and recognizing there's some strength in the roots of what they do.
Right. So when I've been talking to clients, I've been saying, this is what I have to offer. But you know what? I know a lot of people. So if you need something else, let me find you that person, because I bet I know them.
Totally. I want to go down Fun Street because I'm dying to do it.
Okay.
It's fun. Okay. So let me give you the concept. You remember we used to ask you in the past, like what your all-time favorite movie was. That was like a signature question, which I can't remember what you answered when you
probably, oh God.
Oh yeah, maybe it was like with George Burns. Love that movie. Still good. John Denver, the late John Denver.
Yeah, it was wonderful. But my favorite line is, you never make mistakes. And God says, what are you talking about? Look at the avocado. The pit is just way too large. So true.
When was the last miracle you made? Oh, the 1969 Mets. That's still there. Okay.
See, great show.
Yeah, it is a good. George Burns' comedy was so great. Okay, so what we've done was we recognize there are a lot of other questions people want to ask. So it's almost like that speed round in Family Feud at the end where we ask a bunch of questions and the first thing that comes to your mind, you just shout it out. The only difference is we haven't surveyed 100 top people about what their most common answer would be.
Okay.
Maybe we should do that. All right. So ready to have fun. It's really the first thing that comes to your mind, and you say it out, and then we'll package it all together, and we'll see how it all sounds. Ready to roll?
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
I guess.
A song you love to hear that gets you up.
Stairway to Heaven.
A food that's not a dessert.
Pizza.
A dessert that's one of your favorites.
Chocolate pudding.
If you can close your eyes and snap your fingers and be anywhere in the world, where would you be?
High in the Rockies.
As in like high in the Rockies?
I'm going to just leave that alone.
An activity you would like to do more of.
Kayaking.
An activity you would like to do less of.
I don't have one.
No?
Sleep and watching TV.
Okay, I like that. And last thing, if you get to watch some form of entertainment, a sports game, a movie, a Broadway show, whatever it would be, and everything's back to normal the way we were, what would it be?
Dance.
Oh, I like it. Go see a dance performance. I love that.
I'm on the advisory board of the Dance Council.
See, this was the Fun Street, and we did that pretty well. Actually, you did that fairly well. I love the looking around, like looking up. There is no activity that I would not to do less of. But that actually tells a lot about you because, like, there's so many things you do that you love to
watch way too much TV.
Did you have fun with that? I think that was fun. We never done it live.
It's fun, especially high in Colorado. That'll be your favorite. I have no doubt.
I also had John Denver in the background. Maybe that's where the Rocky Mountain High.
No, the mountains is the only thing I miss in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Moving to Pittsburgh, I really miss living at like 8,000 feet.
Yeah,
can't have everything.
You can't have everything. But you've been in Pittsburgh for a while now. You love it.
30 years.
Right? Oh wow, that's.
I know that means I moved here when I was 2, but
like you were 5 or something like that. I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt and round it to an odd number. I want to ask you a couple of wrap ups here on the catch up. Something you're looking for.
I love you, by the way. I'm going to say that out. I just think you're an amazing human being, and I'm so glad you're in my life. So in case I don't have time to say that later.
I'm telling my producers right now, can we bottle that? I love that. Thank you. Right back at you.
And play it over and over again.
We could just loop that. We'll just keep it looping. So my question to you, Julie Ann, as we start to think of, you got me all flustered. My brain went
you're turning red.
I am. You can see that. You embarrassed me. But as we start to get back into doing things, is there something that you're looking forward to do in your work, in your personal life, in the things that you're doing? Hugging. Okay. We love the hugging. But after we've hugged somebody, is there I know you're always thinking of like a cool wish list thing or something out there. It's kind of brewing. Is there like a little dreamy thing aside from getting high somewhere in the top of that veil?
I didn't say that.
I know. You said,
I just, just traveled to see friends. I'm kind of a simple person. I miss being in New York.
Yeah.
Right. I'm close enough to drive to New York, and I'm usually in New York at least twice a year. And I miss being in New York, not necessarily see a show or anything, but I got a lot of people I know there, and I just love being in New York. And yeah.
I'd say restaurants is the thing I'm missing most. Like
Yeah,
actually
that
dining
doesn't do it
out.
for me.
It doesn't do it for you. Okay.
Well, first of all, I'm a vegan since January 1.
Oh, since the beginning of the year. This is new. This should have been where we led off the topic. How's that going? How's is it difficult, challenges, things you miss?
Pizza, but I found a vegan pizza, so I'm good now.
All right.
And I found vegan chocolate pudding, so I'm good.
I don't even know what that means.
It's not made with regular milk.
Okay, there we go.
Made with almond milk and lots of sugar, kind of like vegan ice cream. I actually found Ben & Jerry's makes a non-dairy ice cream. Who knew?
Wow. The dairy capital, Vermont of the world.
Yeah.
Ice cream. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So veganism is going really well. I've been experimenting with foods, and I'm pretty happy.
All right.
Yeah.
Julie Ann Sullivan, any last words of advice for people with all the stuff going on in the world? Someone who puts a smile on everyone's face, specifically mine today, and my cheekbones turning red as they possibly being so flustered by the lovely Julie Ann. Any messages you want to share with our listeners and our viewers to what you think, any quick thoughts from where we are, where we're going, and what's next?
Yeah. I'd like to see everybody be 10% kinder to one another. No matter how kind you are right now. And I would like to see more people have a big world view. One of the sad parts of what's going on with Black Lives Matter and the pandemic is I'm seeing way too much of people caring about this.
Yeah.
And I would like to see that broadened a little bit, because if we don't see that, if we don't understand that we have no freaking idea how someone else's life created who they are, then we're going to have a really hard time getting along with one another. And I have friends who do not agree. I don't agree, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. And I like to talk to them so I can see what the bridge is to where they are different than me.
Yeah. Granted,
there are people that I don't know where that bridge is, and they can't explain it either. So then that's an issue. But yeah, be kind.
It's fun you mentioned be kind, because Adrienne Bankert, who's on ABC, Good Morning America, and she was on last week. She wrote a book called Your Hidden Superpower, and it's all about kindness. And I think it's timely right now. Just all of us.
I will tell your people who are watching or watch later, randomactsofkindness.org.
I like it. We will check it out. Julie Ann Sullivan, I am so excited to be here. It was so great to have you on. Thank you for taking the time.
Lou, it's my pleasure. I always like coming and laughing and smiling with you.
It was like our lunch break here today.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it a lot.
Well, definitely. Well, thank you for coming on, and be good, be safe, be great.
You do the same.
And to all our listeners and viewers out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep thriving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.